TitleMatchNetwork.com.
One-time company, the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view, and they had you work with Abdullah the Butcher.
Right.
What are your memories of working with Abby?
Abdullah, as to be honest, all my years, as one of the, he came in Charlotte when I was in Mid-Atlantic, but he was a baby face. I was a heel. But they wouldn't let him do his Abdullah gimmick, basically. You know, I mean, he kind of did it, but it wasn't wide open. So this is, besides, before this, I already been to Puerto Rico with him, so I already kind of knew his style a little bit. So, I mean, I've never had, they wanted him to go over me straight with a big elbow drop, you know, and he refused to do it, you know. So I kind of respect the guy for standing up. He says, no, I'm not going to do that with the gang. He's, you know, I like the gang. We're going to do the big brawl and just fight out. You know, and that's basically, we both got juice. Of course, you're going to get juice with Abdullah the Butcher. You know, this, I mean, it's not the funnest thing to sit there and see a big fork coming towards your head, you know, but, you know, but work-wise, I mean, he's easy to work with, you know, and I'm surprised, you know, that for his size, he really didn't blow up that bad, you know, all that brawling outside the ring and all up the ramp and everything. He honestly didn't really blow up. I was really surprised by his size. You'd think, you know, looking at him and being his age too, you know, he's been in the business for, what, 100 years?
Right.
So, but yeah, the fork gimmick, it's a good gimmick, but I'm kind of nervous. You know, every time he jabs, he comes at you with that fork, I'm kind of nervous.
What about Puerto Rico? What are your memories of working for Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico was back to the old school. After now, I mean, you got to figure all this WWF stuff was going on. But when I went to Puerto Rico, it was just like being back in Mid-South days or something like that.
Still today.
People was crazy and, you know, throw stuff at you. And I was like, I go to the building, you know, I'd never been over there all my career. I never wanted to go there. So, you know, I'm out of business now. I get an offer from Dutch Mantel to come over there and work. You know, Carlos Colon needs somebody to work with because Carlos is all beat up and can't really move that well, but he likes big guys, you know. So basically I go out there every night with him and just basically bump for him, basically, you know, and for him, I'd a couple of shots and get a nerve hold or whatever. We do some kind of gimmick finish and we're fight out. And juice every night, you know. So that was like being back in the old days for me. I fit right in with it. And then I get to the building, like there's no ringside chairs. You know, the people are like way off in the bleachers, way over here. And I'm like, how come there's no ringside chairs? I don't understand. Oh, the people, they'll cut you and this and that. You know, they're like outside the building, they'd sell rocks to people. And they'd bring the rocks in and throw and batteries and things like that at you. And it was just crazy.
TitleMatchNetwork.com